Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do an update tarot reading for the actor Jung HaeIn. I know a lot of people have been interested in knowing, how he's going to do this year, how he's doing, what's available for him in the future. I believe he's working on something new. So yes, let's see the cards that he got. We start the reading with the major arcana of the star, then the chariot, 10 of swords, 9 of wands, and 10 of pentacles. And then from the oracle, he got the card of Jupiter in Libra, negotiation. Um, I honestly I am very I'm amazed about he got these two tens, so I'm somehow I feel drawn to focus on the 10, the energy of the tens, about when you are at the final stage of something. Um, Definitely, I think that he's a very lucky guy. We start with the card of the star, and next to this we have the chariot. So I think that everything that is going on in his life, in Jung Hae-in's life, sort of has a purpose, and the purpose is to keep advancing. In the middle of the reading, we have the Ten of Swords, so there's this feeling of finally you sort of accepting that there were some things that maybe didn't work out in the past. um I believe that he's someone that sometimes he takes life too seriously. I believe he has this energy with the Ten of Swords that I don't think that people hurt him on purpose, or there's, because I don't see people in here. I think that this is him dealing on his own loneliness, somehow dealing and replaying all situations where he felt like he was offended, like um, he didn't get the respect that he wanted, or he felt unappreciated. There's a lot of things that probably people just do or say around him, and he just doesn't say that much to the person. He doesn't confront. He just hangs on in there, and then eventually it hits him that actually it hurt. Maybe it hurt his pride. Maybe he was somehow he was very hurt by this. But in the time what things are happening, it seems that he tends to avoid conflict, which is very odd, because I know he is an Aries. From what I remember, he's an Aries. But there's something about him actually not talking that much about what's going on with him. I think that he's a guy that he just deals with things on his own, and he doesn't open up to others. I definitely sense that he's very independent, that everything that he's always moving forward. Here with the chariot and the star card, I think that the good thing about his nature is that he will always keep advancing no matter what. But the Ten of Swords is a sort of a reminder, to him, and probably for this year. Maybe this year was very challenging for him. I believe in a mental way, maybe, I don't know, he had projects or he had situations where, he felt very exhausted mentally and physically. But he doesn't talk about it. I get the feeling that he's very prideful. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm better on my own. I will deal with this on my own. I will not ask for help. He doesn't like to ask for help. So if he's going through something, I believe that he's slowly moving on. It's not that he's holding a grudge against someone in particular, or there's a heartache. No, I think that it's the accumulation of probably understanding that, he actually went through a challenging time and he didn't talk about it with people. Or probably even the people around him, they don't know how things were for him. And it sort of makes sense because I remember I did a live stream a few months ago, and someone asked me. They were asking me for different actors, and they asked me about him, and I pulled cards for him, and the cards were very negative. Were so negative. I believe that there were a lot of major arcanas in there, and for me to see the combination of those major arcanas, it was like, oh my god, this is a very strong and very awful energy. So I was like, I'm not going to read this. I'm not going to put it into words. Like, I don't, the only thing I know is that it sort of terrified me back then. So I was like, I'm not going to put it into words, because once I put it into words, I'm afraid it's going to come true. So I will not say it, But so I don't know what he was going through at that time, but I'm sure it was tough. So that's why I stayed away from his energy for a while, because I was like, and yesterday when I was pulling cards for this, I was like, I hope they come up positive, and definitely they do show me a sort of in advance that he's slowly advancing, that he's slowly seeing the light of his work, of his efforts. He's a very hardworking guy. Here with the Nine of Wands, I sense that this guy just doesn't take a rest. As a man, as an individual, as a professional, he doesn't rest. I would advise him to take better care of himself, but it seems like he doesn't have time for this. He's like, no, I have to move on to the next project. So definitely, he's moving towards something. He's moving towards, the possibility to have a future and a stable future. I think that this is why he's so focused on not quitting or not letting these thoughts or these inner wounds that he has, these disappointments, or maybe he's too critical with himself. He like, it seems like he's very harsh on himself. He probably is like, oh, I should have done this, I should have said this, but I didn't. So there's a bit of, and also, getting a lot of advice from people, that probably people trying to connect more with him and trying to reach out to him and be like, yeah, we should do something. We should meet, we should see each other more often. And he's like, yeah, I will call you, but he never calls. I get a strong feeling of loneliness, honestly. I think that it's not a sense of because actually he's not unhappy. He's not unhappy because he's very independent. But I think that sometimes he does realize, or he does come to the realization that maybe a lot of errors or mistakes from the past, he's like, oh yeah, I guess things happened like this because I didn't reach out to others. I stayed on my own. I continued working, I continued doing a lot of things for me and focus on me, and I guess I forgot that I need to socialize more, or I need to connect more. Probably he does have a lot of complaints from his loved ones or from his family and friends, and being like, oh, you never, we never can reach out. We can never know where you are because you're always busy, or you're always canceling things. So it's like those messages, those words that he receives, that he's sort of tired. He's sort of he's angry at this. He's angry at himself for being like this, and he's also angry at others because it seems like he's like, oh, they don't get it. They don't understand my life. They don't understand how I live. They don't understand that I cannot stop. That work is my life, and I have to keep working, and I have to keep advancing. So yeah, I don't have time to go hang out and be silly and being goofy and just wasting time. It seems like he's always thinking about the next project, For him, it's all about, action. It's all about being busy all the time. It's all about, sort of building his career, his reputation, being a decent co-worker, being a decent professional, probably learning a lot of things and a lot of new skills. And he just, sometimes he forgets he needs human connection. There's something, that's why I was like, okay, he's definitely shining like the star that he is, definitely in his work. He is appreciated. He is like, people admire him. People want to work with him. He is famous. But I see him very isolated. I see him. I don't see others. I don't see a special someone. I don't see family. I see him like being like, okay, I have to do this on my own because otherwise nobody else is going to believe in me. So I have to believe in myself. Very centered in himself and in his own skills and possibilities. And he's definitely like working really hard to show more sides of himself. He doesn't settle for what he has. He's like, no, I have to do better. He's very competitive. He's very insatiable, I would say, when it comes to success and when it comes to good results. He's like, okay, I am in a good period in my life, like I'm doing very well and I want to do better. So I don't think he's going to stop. I think that he's going to keep being in this energy of like, okay, I have to, if I fall, I have to get up and I have to be stronger and I have to be better and I have to be more motivated because there's good things coming for him. Definitely he's going to get the reward, the stability that he wants. I sense that also he's like putting his energy because he wants more prosperity for himself. Maybe he's thinking about buying his own house if he doesn't own a house already. I have no idea. But he's like, okay, I want to, and probably, also providing for his family. I don't know if his family is also struggling financially. So he's like, I want to sort of secure my future because I don't know, so he's very much focused on this. I believe that this project that he's working on is going to be demanding, but nevertheless, the results are going to be very positive. It's going to be a success. It's going to be a sort of like a celebration with the people that he works with. And then he's also going to create a very nice relationship also with the people that he works with the staff, with other actors, sort of family energy, very stable. But yeah, I think that he's a very driven guy. He's a very driven guy, and he's like trying to not overthink or overanalyze things because he is working towards his dreams. He is someone that he is where he wants to be, but he knows that probably being famous is lonely. At least from his experience, it seems like, I don't know if he's socially awkward or if he just doesn't want to, to get into relationships. It seems like for him is for now his priority is to do well, to do better in work. And he's like, whatever I put my mind into, I actually accomplished it. When a lot of people were like, oh, you will not make it, I made it. I fell, I fell and I got up. So now I'm stronger. So he's like, he's sort of a gladiator. He's like, okay, I know that, this wasn't a success, but I kept going. I kept going. I got up. I survived. I become better. So I think that he's slowly, going towards his goal, his personal goal, and definitely he's thinking about results. He wants stability. He wants to see. Probably he wants to see like more money. There's something about probably him wanting to get better roles or get a better payment, so he can sort of relax a bit and establish his future. Maybe in the past he didn't actually earn like that much, or if he did earn money, maybe he had to use it for an emergency or helping someone out. We don't know about these people. I think that sometimes when we see someone struggle, when this 10 of swords here in the middle, I think that a lot of people think that, oh, maybe he was betrayed by someone that he loved, and this is a romantic connection was was gone wrong. I already can see people like speculating about this, and honestly, since I'm the one reading this and I'm the one pulling the cards, I don't think that it is about a past connection, or this is about a female, or this is about someone in particular. I think this is about, probably family. I feel like there's something about family or friends that were somehow in need, or actually went through something very traumatic, and he also was like, he helped them, but he also was a bit like, sort of traumatized by the experience. I don't know if maybe someone lost someone, if there was like, an emergency happened and he was very afraid. There's something about him, actually like, dealing with a bit of a stress, and I think that this is not, it has to do with the people that he loves. But I also think that there's something about his energy, since I'm trying to read right now, and I think that what I'm seeing here is that he's very reserved, and that he doesn't let me see who these people are, the why he feels so affected, and why who are these people. But probably has to do with family. I don't think that is like a romantic connection, or he was betrayed by a girlfriend. No, it's not about that, guys. At least from what I'm getting, this is not about what you think, because I sort of can see the shippers somehow coming up with a sort of conclusion that, oh no, he was betrayed because this and this and this. No, no, his energy is like telling me, no, things, life is not like this for me. And when it comes to connections from the past or recent, I don't see. I only see family, friends, but I don't see a special someone. I also don't see it in the future for him, so I don't know. I don't see like even like a potential connection with someone that he's going to work in the future. At least for the next months, I don't see much. I actually see him like standing on his own and working on himself and just focusing on his job, and that's it for now. But yeah, for people that want to know about his career, he's actually going to do very well. But yeah, it's going to be demanding. He's going to have to work a lot. He probably is working a lot. He's putting a lot of effort. And this also, him probably having these roles that are very challenging mentally and physically. When I see the 10 of swords in here, I see someone that comes home late, exhausted because of all the work he had to do during the day. So it's hard for him to interact with others normally when he has such a intense experience in acting or in his roles. Definitely it takes a toll on him. So I think that people should really be more, if you really care, about him as a professional, you should also take into consideration that he usually takes roles, or he takes his job very seriously, and sometimes it's not that easy to disconnect from his job. He's someone that he pours everything of him into the role or into the job. So definitely I can, with the 10 of swords here in the middle, instead of seeing someone defeated, I see someone that is very tired, someone that has very little left energy to actually do more than work. I see him very invested in working. So yeah, this is probably his circumstances at the moment. But yeah, it's going to give some nice results. It's going to be, very prosperous. It's going to be abundant, good reviews. But yeah, yeah, it's going to do well. And then from the oracle, he got the card of Jupiter in Libra, negotiation. So I think that probably he's also like negotiating another role, another different role. You know, he's sort of like also like thinking about this, because I think that for the first time he sort of is thinking about, you know, negotiating about doing something that he hasn't done before. You know, probably maybe it's a role or it's a work that is a bit more pleasant, not so much like about a role that has to do with action and with, very challenging stories. You know, more like probably he's like negotiating with a brand, or he's negotiating with something that has to do with enjoying yourself and also using your image and luxury. Probably, you know, he's sort of negotiating this, you know, about probably using his image. Maybe he's thinking also about doing another like romantic project, you know, about him being someone's love interest, but this not being that tragic, you know, actually being a very exciting duo, you know, exciting dynamic, maybe a bit sexy dynamic, very alluring dynamic. Him also like the role not being the typical good boy, that nice guy that falls in love. No, actually him being more on the, you know, the attractive and maybe a bit sexual also in the connection, you know, in on screen. So I think that, yeah, he's sort of negotiating, and probably he's hearing, you know, for these months, the months of this year that are still remaining, he's sort of like seeing like, okay, what do you have to offer me? Like all these parts that you're offering me, I want to see the most like alluring one, the most exciting one, the most like, he wants to see a script or a role that is like, oh, this is fun, I want to do it. Because I think that also this, since this card talks about Libra energy, I think that he also wants to connect with pleasure. You know, he wants to connect with more superficial things, maybe a bit more superficial roles, you know, not so deep, not so traumatic all the time. You know, he wants to have fun as well. He wants to be like, you know, the handsome main lead, and that's it, you know, and not going that deep into like, okay, you have to work on emotions and you have to work on, you know, empathizing with the role, the you know, the character's pain. You know, he just wants a role that is a bit much more just happy and just like exciting, adventurous, but positive. You know, not that that complex. So yeah, I think that he is in negotiation stage. He hasn't decided yet, but he's like, okay, give me the best, give me the most attractive offer, because he's like, okay, I want to next time that I pick a role, I want to have fun on it. I want to smile more. I want to be goofy. I want to be more daring. I want to be flirtatious. You know, I want to be more, feeling more handsome as well. You know, like that. So yeah, ladies, if you're a fan of him and you want to see a sexier Jung HaeIn, definitely I think that he's in the working of choosing those. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for requesting him, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.